Alright, so let's start with a small showcase of how the evolved weapons function. I think I did showcase a couple of them, but you know, just in case. So the fusion bomb becomes a bit more like the bouncer, but not quite as much. Basically, you know, slight discount bouncer. The Gravitron becomes the Discotron, which just has a bigger area and, if I recall correctly, detonates at the end.
Yeah, show some legs, Froggy.
The heavy bouncer already showcased. The drum becomes, I think, like a Protocast, which basically just becomes a bit more powerful with a couple more detonation, and I think adds a bigger detonation at the end. Again, it's not the worst weapon I've seen, but I can understand why this one did not migrate to Rift Apart.
A good chunk of these weapons technically had already been recycled across the
yes,
series.
but there were a
anyway.
couple of new ones. The Combustor becomes the Magma Buster, which in true tradition for the Pistols of a franchise is just as a higher radius, more bullets that are spread.
Can you
The Pyrocity
Can you
becomes
imagine
the
if they
Lava Sucker.
Oh.
There you go. Gone.
Can you imagine if they had upgraded the pixelizer into the polygonizer?
You already made the joke. Anyway, Mr. Zircon gains Zircon Jr. Sadly, no Miss Zircon, but I already explained why they probably like that. We already like that. The Pixelizer becomes the Pixelizer HD. The only thing that adds is a charge button for a more potent shot, but otherwise it remains the same. It just becomes more powerful, basically. It kind of becomes a bit like the Mega Buster.
Like, I guess, you know, calling it the Pixelizer HD gives the sense of an upgrade, but it's such a missed opportunity. Well, maybe not a missed opportunity. Maybe they couldn't really do it because already what they were doing was incredible.
As already mentioned. There you go.
Like, imagine if it actually did just disperse them into HD particles.
Alright, the Shipinator becomes instead the Goatinator, which turns instead of ships into black fur goats. Which you'll be seeing later on what they do, because they had the ability to convert other targets into them, basically spreading it almost like a kind of like a disease, but you'll be able to see how they do that.
Oh, so it's basically a horror movie then.
Kinda, yes. The blades, the Buzz Blades becomes the Doom Blades, which are more powerful, but check this out. I turned these Robomat, and the ships convert others by farting. Ew.
Okay, a horror comedy.
Like Black Sheep. Ha ha ha.
Oh yeah, right, Black Sheep. I wonder if somebody on the team was a fan of that movie.
I don't know about that. There you go. The ballista doesn't. I think okay. The crossbow doesn't really become that much different. Okay, it gains the slow mo, classic stuff with more sniper rifle that slows time if you score a headshot. There was the Peacemaker, who just becomes more powerful. The Raptor Launcher gains instead more ammo that you release and detonation. Like I said, it's only useful for bosses if you ask me. Like I said, the Doom Blaze just becomes more fast and, you know, spin around the target like that. Again, also useful for big single targets. And let's test finally the Rhino Extreme on Al. Smile for the camera.
Well, the fact that he doesn't even have a scratch on him, I guess, is a testament to his resilience.
Just gotta need to rush the game. We barely can program, you know, the characters reacting to being hit.
Oops. That said, I do love the accompanying music that even comes with the Rhino.
Again, as I mentioned in one of the previous parts, well, actually, as I mentioned in the previous part, I don't know if it's like the theme based on the movie or another piece of classical music. I don't recognize it, so.
I feel like if it's not a classical piece, they're at least imitating what Tchaikovsky did, essentially.
There you go.
There you go, make literal music out of cannons.
Thank you, game. I think I know it by now.
Okay.
Alright, so if I recall correctly, now it's time to check out the cards. So let's start with Grimm's Workshop. The place to go if you need to clean your dusty hyper frother or want to squeeze a little more power out of your backup propulsion module. They charge fair prices and have the crankiest customer service this side of Crad Canyon. Of course, although it's labeled as it started in the first game in 2002, it's just with a different coat of paint, obviously. Of course, now the location, the keys in Plateau and Blind Valley is home to horny toads, Screeducks, and a lovable lumbucks named Ratchet.
Horny toads.
You don't want to know what
Phrasing.
you don't want to know what those toads get
Here's
up to
John
at
Goodman's
night.
character. Ratchet's cantankerous boss and owner of a spaceship repair business on Valdin. Grimroth has a brother named Felton who lives on Pokitaru. That's it.
And that's all the lore we're gonna give you about him.
Yep.
Such an important,
Yeah, I'm
essential
so glad
character
that they
to the
added this
mythos.
character for the movie. Anyway, the Novalis Valley. Novalis is home to 3,253 different species of insects, but they will only bite if you're rude, so mind your manners.
Yeah, so be nice, Dwibs.
The water
Are you
works.
talking about me specifically?
Novalis has some of the galaxy's most complex sewers, and Vasi is home to the galaxy's best handyman, the plumber, which we're gonna check in a second.
Remember, Dwibs, you created Dick Layton. Like, they may consider
Plumbers,
on site for that.
Plumbers fix what needs fixing, but this plumber can also see into the future and the past, but it's not really that impressive since we can all see in the past. Okay, game, whatever you say. Also, job,
I guess
plumber. I love that.
Guess that's their justification for why he can break the fourth
Aridia
wall.
is swimming with sand sharks, particularly in the creatively named Sand Shark Valley. You definitely do not want to go barefoot.
Good to know.
Like any sports celebrity, Skidmap Marks is doing whatever he can to capitalize on his success and grow his brand. Phase 1 of his plan is to open a series of Skid-branded extreme sports stores. Phase 2 is to rename the Solana Galaxy Skidmap Marks. His agent is still working on the paperwork for that one. Interestingly, the story itself is labeled as appearing just for this reboot, even though the building was a thing in the original. It just specifies that it's this new version, I guess.
Also, a metallic version of him. Foreshadowing.
A radical hoverboarder who signed a record deal for his deep and introspective spoken word poetry. Dude, whoa.
Ah, such remarkable dialect.
Alright, here's the training course. Captain Quirk wanted to build a training course in order to keep himself and the other Galactic Rangers in tip-top shape. He hired the galaxy's best architect and kinesiologist to design the perfect fitness course, which focused on agility, strength, and cardiovascular efficiency. Then he threw those plans in the trash and built something he thought looked really cool. Brilliant.
Even when he has a good idea, he has to muck it up.
You need Helga, just saying. Here's the Hall of Heroes, the Galactic Ranger headquarters where Captain Quirk and the other Rangers monitor events across the galaxy and manufacture high-end custom weapons and gadgets. It's also the highest concentration of #HumbleBrag selfies across 7 star systems. And of course, keep in mind that these Hall of Heroes is not as appearing just in this game. Keep in mind for how Rift Apart starts. Now let's check Big Al. The universe #1 electronics and all-around tech guy. That's it.
Really?
That's
That's
all
all
he
you have to
gets.
say about
You
him?
did not anything fun to add, like when he's on the internet all the time or something?
Okay. Grimroth, I can get, especially if like the devs didn't care for him because obviously
Anyway.
a movie mandate. But
This overboard course, designed by classic overboard hero R.J. Dixon, is on to the annual Blackwater City Overboard Race, where Skidman, Mark, and Chester St. Cloud battled to a photo finish 3 years in a row.
look at that, the hoverboard race, which didn't even come back for several games, gets more talked about than Big Al. Ouch.
Oh goody. The sewers in Rydgar are not only stinky, but also home to a thriving underground weapons market. One might even go so far as to say it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. You should be cautious.
Where have I heard that one
It's not
before?
the last one we're gonna get.
Said by Bok in Lord of the Rings.
His real name is Don Wonderstar, but everybody calls him Skeet's agent, because that's what happens when you try to live off the fame of others. Bro.
Okay.
Here's the Blarg space station. Nebula G34 is home to a top-secret Blarg tactical research station, but because I'm not an omniscient narrator, I can tell you it's where Drek is hiding a super powerful Predator launcher as well as the most fearsome creature in the galaxy, the Snaggle Beast.
Well, look at that. You can learn something from collecting trading cards.
This warship is the pride of the Blargian fleet. Not only is the most powerful warship in the galaxy, but it was also built to convert into a luxury hotel in times where the Blargs are not at war. But that never happens, which is a pity, because there are a lot of exfoliating soaps and lavender shampoos going unused. Also, because there are a lot, shouldn't be there are a lot? Is it grammatically
that's a
correct?
typo.
Okay. So weird.
Yeah, like they should have at least put there are, like, you know, with an apostrophe at the very least. But
The Snaggle Beast is one of Drek's many secret projects. It can shoot fireballs from its hands and probably other parts of his body. Thank you, I did not need to know that.
Good to know. Oh god, are you telling me that the Ghost Rider sequel was onto something with him pissing fire?
The word inhospitable was created to describe the landscape of the hottest and steamiest planet in the galaxy, Gaspar, but that didn't stop Dr. Nefarious from creating his own top-secret research facility among its lava fields.
Mustafar effect, got it.
I mean, there are more planets, I argue.
Well, I'm talking about...
The Blarg Depot in Gaspar is where Dr. Nefarious manufactured all sorts of weapons and gadgets for the Blarg. Rubar has it, they're working on top-secret Blargian jetpack. A Blargian scientist who is strangely obsessed with collecting Telepathopus brains. As far as hobbies go, probably not the safest one to pick.
But doesn't that make it just all the more enticing?
On to Battaglia. The engineers who devised these transit systems skipped class on the day they studied Occam's razor. Instead, they went to the amusement park and rode up roller coasters all day.
So that's why the rails are geared. You know what? There you go. That might be why also the rails at the Space Colony Arc and Sonic are like that too.
Fort
It all
Krontos.
makes sense.
Fort Krontos was built to house and protect the Star Wars defense cannon, which is the most powerful ion blaster in the known universe.
I love how, due to the lack of variety, most of these debut appearances are either just 2002 or 2016.
Oh, we'll get to more different stuff. Cora Verolux is one of the fables Galactic Rangers. Her specialty is finding trouble and kicking its butt. She was born and raised on the planet Novalis. So I guess we kind of skipped.
Wow.
We kind of did not notice that, but apparently the defeat of Novalis in the movie was personal for her. But I did not notice that, I swear. Anyway.
Yeah, that's news to me too.
The Warboard Factory. Skork City on Planet Quarto is home to many things, pollution, darkness, and lots of angry Blarg. But perhaps its most striking feature is the Warbot Factory, which, you guessed it, creates warbots. It is also the #1 emitter of poisonous gases in the solar system. At least they have something to be proud of. And it's noted that this one in particular is still based around the original from the 2002 game, interestingly.
Yeah.
Though the Skork City instead, no. It isn't. Chairman Drek uses Skork City as his base of operation for all things evil. For example, he purposefully slows down the internet speed all around the planet and charges people exorbitant prices to get super fast speeds. Well, don't worry, dear audience, you can bypass that with today's sponsor, Lombax VPN.
I don't think that really took off very well, wanted Lombax VPN.
After Drek's own world became uninhabitable, he decided to steal parts of our planet to create a new homeworld for the Blarg. Sounds like a good idea, if you're an evil megalomaniac. I love that we only get a statue of Drek for his holocard, not him in person.
That is weird.
Kick back, relax, and enjoy the good life at a picturesque Jowai resort on Pokitaru. Live the quote-unquote island way, which means no mobile phones, no socks, and no worries.
How wonderful.
On Pokitaru, even the sewers are beautiful. Yes, they may have a slightly off odor, but you can blame that on the amoeboids. Those things refuse to use proper hygiene. That's vaguely
Don't you love
racist.
it? A sewer that you can swim in and not have to fear. I swear, if there's more to talk
Alright.
about him than his brother.
Felton's brother Grimroth calls him a slacker, but Felton prefers to classify himself as a professional chillaxer. He moved to Pokitaru for its sun, scenery, and fishing. Interesting, this character is labeled as the same one that was in the original. They just changed his species, I guess.
That's... I don't know if it's fair to refer to that as his debut date then, since, you know...
Don't know what to tell you. Alright, the Starship Phoenix. The Starship Phoenix is the home away from home for the Galactic Rangers. It is equipped with the most powerful hyperdrive in the galaxy and enough weapons to battle the entire Black Armada. But its most prized feature is a one-of-a-kind, multi-compatible VG9000 game system, capable of playing any video game in existence. And of course, you know, the origin is for the third game.
Oh, there you go, something from 2004.
Again, we'll get more later. The Starship Phoenix has some of the most powerful engines in the universe. Legend has it, there's an angry poltergeist that haunts the engine room. Or that could just be a story the engineers made up so that when things don't work, they have something to blame other than themselves. Although this one instead is labeled as starting in the first game? Like,
yeah, I was about to say, I'm sorry.
Around Drax Fleet, I guess?
That's so weird. So you just established the Starship Phoenix was definitely 2004, only to have a room that I'm pretty sure only showed up in Up Your Arsenal debut-wise as 2002.
And Aris is in charge of the
sense.
developing Galactic Ranger gear and providing technical support. She's one of the smartest women in the galaxy and completely dedicated to her job. And yes, the other Galactic Ranger, the bulky guy, does not get his Holocard. I guess fuck him. I don't know.
What?
I know, right? It's so weird.
Oh.
I
it's a weird
barely really
omission.
remember it that much, but still.
The less said about Drek, the better. But one thing is for sure, his office under the planetizer is where he cooks up some of his more nefarious plans, pun intended.
Again, I love how some of these descriptions, which seem so out of nowhere, are more fleshed out than ones you'd think would get fleshed out.
New part to his Chairman Drek's dream come true, but a nightmare for everyone else. Drek grew jealous of everyone else in the galaxy that had beautiful homes, so he destroyed them all, then took pieces of each planet and put them together to create his own planet. It should also be pointed out that Drek was not at the top of his class. Dr. Nefarious, a genius but evil scientist intent on defeating the Galactic Rangers. Most appropriate name ever, and that's it.
That's all you give him? He's the actual main villain of the game, but you give him
movie.
2 sentences? Not even a word about his motivation because Quark apparently, you know, mistreated him? Nope, just those.
If you're a fan of awesome weapons, you'll love visiting Gadgetron headquarters, where you'll be able to see early prototypes of the Glove of Doom, the Groovytron, and maybe even the super secret Rhino. Gadgetron makes weapons, but CEO Wendell Lumos is also interested in appealing to a younger demographic. When his marketing team showed him the rising popularity of overboarding, he decided to build his own course at Gadgetron HQ. He wanted to christen the course himself, but broke a hip on the first run, and that's how he was introduced to the sad reality of aging.
The flipping Gadgetron hoverboard course gets more backstory than Nefarious card-wise.
Wendell
next?
Lumos, his founder and CEO of Gadgetron, is a salesman at heart, always trying to bring in more revenue for his company. He even sponsored the overboard race because that's what kids like these days, or at least that's what his advisors told him.
I am legit baffled to the direction of this. Why is this one-off getting more to talk about than Nefarious, the main villain of the series?
An expert mechanic who dreams of grand adventures, Ratchet finally gets his chance after Clank crash lands on Veldin. The two team up, become Galactic Rangers, and save the universe because that's what heroes do.
I'm guessing you only get this card after you've completed the game.
Oh no, they're
because
just
it's
running
technically
around.
a spoiler.
No.
Okay.
Incredibly intelligent but diminutive warbot teams up with Ratchet to save the universe whenever the universe needs saving. And nothing else.
Damn. I get that he tends to be secondary, but by that card, you'd think he's just the sidekick.
Copernicus Leslie Quark describes himself as the greatest hero in the universe, but in reality he's a fraud. Quark will do anything for fame or money. Or both. Now let's check instead Angela. Also known as the Unknown Thief, Angela Cross was a former geneticist for Megacorp. She helped develop a protopath, but when she complained to management that it couldn't be controlled, she was fired. She eventually teamed up with Ratchet and Clank to save the universe from Megacorp's greedy plan to mass-produce protopaths.
I do wonder if part of the reason Nefarious's thing was so vague was because they couldn't decide, do we want to make it specific to this universe or just do it to encompass both timelines?
Darla Gretsch, dog field reporter for Channel 64, the universe #1 source for news. Yeah, they did change up their appearance compared to... No, yes, they just reconverted that as the same model as Juanita, but they're just saying that all reporter models look like this, basically.
Fair enough, then. It's a bit of a stretch, but I'm okay with that one. Hey, Talwyn.
A tough and furious Marquesian, Talwyn was the daughter of a famous explorer Max Apogee, one of the few who can actually read the Lombax language.
Not even gonna mention that her father went missing. Well, to be fair, the comic established that was to help Angela, but still.
Alright,
actually, I wonder if they're even gonna...
Was a galactic superhero, Ace fell in hard times until becoming a contestant on the popular reality show Dread Zone. Ace eventually became the star of the show and the leader of the Exterminators. The architect of the Vox Network, this slimy slave man will do anything to get ratings. His crowning achievement was Red Zone, which at one time was the most popular entertainment program in the universe. Merkin Green, two capable combat bots that helped Ratchet when he was a contestant on Dread Zone. Afterward, he went on to assume leadership of a Ratchet fan club.
Dandy.
Huh.
Alright, cracking time.
Originally a cleaner bot, the Sigma 0426A was hired by Orvus to become junior caretaker of the Great Clock. After helping Ratchet and Clank save the universe, he was promoted to senior caretaker.
I know it's probably not what they had in mind, but I can just imagine someone completely new to the franchise being confused by these cards.
The greatest of all Zoni, Orvus not only created the Great Clock, he also created his son and Ratchet's best friend, Clank.
Speaking of which, kids, assume that lightning you saw in the reboot was Orvus interfering, if this card's anything to go by.
Here's Alistair. Revered General in the Lombax Praetorian Guard, Alistair spent time with Ratchet's father when they were young, but when Alistair agreed to give Tachyon access to Lombax technology, Tachyon betrayed him and used the technology to kill Ratchet's father, along with many other Lombax. Alistair tried desperately to undo his mistake by controlling the Great Clock, but Ratchet stopped him and saved the universe in the process. Just in case you were wondering, how much the devs love a cracking time.
I know, right? That got a whole full page worth compared to stuff that was actually in this game.
Krog, a veteran warbot who, along with his fellow warbot Zephyr, swore to protect Tolwyn Apogee.
By the way, he's dead.
Same goes for Zephyr, which has the same item description, just with name swap. Cute.
Really? Again, like, I'm not the biggest Kronk and Zephyr fan, but come on,
goody.
give him
Former
some
Scallywag, now successful restaurateur, currently developing a business plan to take advantage of a new double fried chocolate dip bagel craze. Ew.
I thought he had become a radio host.
No, remember, by all for One, we did mention that he had opened a restaurant, so. Alright, check the Cragmites. Ugly, violent, annoying creatures known for their warmongering and hubris. The Lombaxes fought the Cragmites in the Great War, which resulted in the downfall of both races. But according to All for One, they had a hero who defeated the Loki parasite once.
Go figure.
Self-appointed leader of the Cragmites, Percival was raised by Lombaxes, but grew to hate them after learning that Lombax technology was used to transport all Cragmites to dimension X249.
Bit of a bum of that.
And also, here's the species that Tachyon was using as muscle in Tools of Destruction. The Drophids, I did forgot how they were called. A race of aquatic beasts who can survive outside of water due to their advanced survival suits. That's it. The fusion grenade that can be upgraded to the fusion bomb, which adds intelli-seeking pyrocytic nitroballs, which is nice. You get basically 3 weapons that represent vaguely or directly the weapon in question. In this case, fusion grenades, like in this case, also the bouncer. Can be upgraded to heavy bouncer, which is kind of redundant when you think about it. I still love you.
Eh.
And the third one is the B6 Obliterator from Deadlocked, if I recall correctly. Voted Weapon of the Year by the Galactic Association of Ridiculous Unnecessary Firepower. You'll buy it for the precision ground targeting, but love it for its gratuitous destruction.
Get it? Because Deadlocked was edgy!
And extreme! Alright, here's the blaster from the first game. Never embark on intergalactic adventure without your trusty ion blaster, or your toothbrush, but if you had to choose, go with the blaster. Anyway, here's instead a combustor from Tools of Destruction. The combustor is spelled combusteur in Europe, because Europe is fancy. Yes it is, TJ, suck my baguette.
Yeah.
Anyway, here are the dual Vipers from Deadlocked, sure to please even the most hard-boiled weapons fanatics in the galaxy. The nano-optic refined technology and unparalleled ammo capacity promise a better tomorrow for all Dread Zone contestants.
Well, I guess it technically got that by helping Ratchet out.
As for the Groovitron, the original, as in the sub-weapons, uses scientifically proven harmonic wavelengths to hypnotize enemies. Affected targets shake their bodies in rhythmic patterns, some of which may be socially inappropriate. I mean,
hey, that's no way to talk about Shantae.
Also, here's the Groovitron glove for a crack in time, when it was properly a weapon. Can be upgraded to the Alpha Groovitron glove, which emits Groovitrons with more lines for a longer duration.
I love the Groovitron glove. It's so bad.
Sure, Lucas. And now behold, the only one card that represents Full Frontal Assault Q-Force. A silent and slightly creepy individual with a painted face that compels you to dance whenever... Oh wait, that's a Groovitron mime. Sorry.
Well, look at that Full Frontal Assault / Q-Force.
You did one
got
thing,
him after all. Shoot, wait, they don't even include the main bad guy from that game as a card.
Nope.
Damn.
Here's the Pyrocitor from the first game, a close-range fire-based weapon that is perfect for dispatching swarm of smaller enemies. It cooks, it toasts, it even flame broils. Try it at your next barbecue. Thank you, I'll stick to propane, given from Hank. Here's the Pyroblaster from Tools of Destruction, can be upgraded to the Incinerator, which burns things even hotter.
Huzzah.
And here's the Omega Tech Frost Cannon, which I think is from for one. Sprays a beam of frost and ice that gradually freezes an enemy. When multiple frost cannon beams strike an enemy, it creates a devastating Arctic blast that freezes other nearby enemies. Perfect for turning your enemies into frozen dinner.
I guess it makes sense stuff like All for One or Q-Force may not get as many cards, since they, for the most
All
part,
for One does get a
most
bit
stuff.
because of the weapons. Here's the Pixelizer. This close-range arm cannon fires a burst of energy that blasts enemies back in time. A time when resolutions were lower and televisions often came in big wooden cabinets. And
I
because it's a
remember
shotgun,
those
the other
days.
two weapons are, of course, other types of shotgun, like my other beloved Sonic Raptor. I said that this weapon uses a genetically mutated Xenigo to create a blast of sound that damage enemies. No, not a fast clown, a blast of sound.
Just type it in. Don't bother with the text, speech to text.
How much you want to bet that when they were typing this, basically it was a voice-to-text machine?
And here's the temporary portal from Into the Nexus, a shotgun-like weapon that knocks back enemies. It uses quantum energy to add even more stopping power to its deadly ammunition. As for the rocket launchers, we have the Warmonger, of course. Shoots multiple rockets at once, even more if it's upgraded, which, let's be honest, it's kind of overkill.
But there's no kill like overkill. That's the best part.
Here's the Negotiator from Tools of Destruction. Can be upgraded to the Judicator, which means that not only you do destroy your enemies, you judge them as well. It's harsh.
Wow.
And here's the Arbiter instead from Deadlocked. Fires high-velocity Carbonox armor-piercing rockets whose explosions reverberate across the fabric of space and time and into dimensions as yet unknown. Ace Hardlight gave this weapon its name after using it to settle a legal dispute with his former agent.
Good to know. And yes, we did indeed get more lore regarding Ace Hardlight's flipping gun over Nefarious. I'm not letting
Here
that
the
one
Agents
go.
of Doom, small but deadly robots that are released from the Glove of Doom. Also a pretty good softball team. Good to know. Here's
Good
their
for
weapon,
them.
the actual Glove of Doom. Launches Doom eggs, which spawn multiple Agents of Doom. It's like you're giving birth to Doom, which sounds painful, but it's actually pretty fun.
Is this how Dr. Doom was born?
And here's the other one, which is a bit weird. It's basically, Agents of Doom was the name that the mods on the Insomniac forums were called. So here's the inside joke. The nicest, smartest, most attractive group of people you could ever hope to meet in cyberspace. Oh, it's lovely. The Insomniac forums were closed 1 year after this game was released.
Oof.
Here's the Plasma Striker from A Crack in Time. A long-range assassinator equipped with an experimental bioscope that identifies enemies' weak spots. And lastly, the fusion rifle from Deadlocked, I think. Uses a patented form of hydrogen fusion combined with a state-of-the-art magnetic optiscope for long-range accuracy. Grimman Box keeps this weapon handy at board meetings in case it gets interrupted. A sniper rifle? You probably should get the shotgun instead.
No. Don't you see? He's a sniper. You just need to get him in close, as Predator told us.
Here's Zircon Jr., a scrappy support synthenoid who fights alongside his father, Mr. Zircon.
Adorable.
Here's Mr. Zircon himself, a loyal synthenoid who protects his master. Mr. Zircon uses Gadgetron's new and improved trash talk function to taunt his enemies.
And finally...
The entire family. Mr. Zircon and son Zircon Jr. fight alongside Mr. Zircon. The family that slays together stays together.
Well, apparently not in the reboot because she's not playable. In fact, Zircon helps kill her in this game.
Don't think about it. As for the Sheepinator, here's the original one, well, from Going Commando, turns enemies into sheeps. Also allows for a few really bad puns. Fuck off,
They were saving that one.
Here's the Chimpomatic from, I think, yeah, Cracking Time. Can be upgraded to the Chimpositron. That's it. You really couldn't put anything?
It feels inconsistent with what gets a fleshed out Infomatic, and then others just get, like, a sentence or two.
And here's the Winterizer from Into the Nexus. Originally developed to make snowmen for the holiday season, this cheap weapon will deck the halls with the better bodies of those who seek to dispatch you.
Good to know.
Here's the Chopper from Going Commando. There you go, the original version of the Boss Blaze. Fires deadly diamond-edged tritium discs that are engineered to ricochet around the environment, capable of hitting enemies multiple times with one shot. Again, Insomniac really loves this weapon, which is why they included in Resistance 2. Here are the Boss Blades. Launches Saw Blades towards a target at 3 to 3.4 meters per second. If you live in the Dark Ages and don't use the metric system, that's 1061.02 feet per second. Boss Blades bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times. And there are, of course, the Never Blades from Into the Nexus. Originally developed by Vendra Prog while she was still in preschool, it was stolen and further developed by GrumbleNet. So this actually gives a bit more lore. The weapon actually was designed by Vendra Prog. I actually didn't know that.
See, in a sense, she did fight us. Technically.
Here's the Seeker Gun from Going Commando. Designed by 3 Gadgetron geniuses and 1 middle manager, it took notes and got the coffee. This projectile weapon was outlawed in 3 galaxies for being too awesome. So it was designed by Gadgetron, but was instead manufactured by Megacorp? Okay.
Maybe it was one of their business joint ventures.
Here's the Predator launcher. This weapon uses laser-guided lasers to lock onto multiple targets for maximum destruction. Can be upgraded to fire sticky napalm missiles. Laser-guided lasers.
An upgrade?
And of course, here's the Spitting Hydra from Up Your Arsenal. Very effective against group of flying enemies. That's it.
Okay.
Here's what the Protodrum has, the Tesla Spikes from A Crack in Time. These tritium spikes harness Gadgetron's arc technology to shock any nearby targets. Multiple spikes will carry a chain of electricity. The actual proton drum from this game. A supermassive pseudo-atom that regularly emanates a wide disk of damaging subatomic energy. And here's the Thundersmack instead from All for One. This weapon creates powerful storm clouds that rain damage on enemies. See what we did there?
No.
I'd say it's the thought that counts, but I've already gone into how I wonder if some of these were just afterthoughts.
Here's Alistair of Praetorian Omni Wrench, a standard wrench used by the Lombax Praetorian Guard. You don't mention but it can shoot energy? Like...
Still weird that we never get to use that as a weapon in any of the games.
Is the Omni Wrench 8000, the starting one, a magnetized wrench that will attract nearby bolts. It can also be used to turn cranks and attack enemies. So interesting enough, the reason why we get bolts towards Ratchet is because of the Omni Wrench. That's an interesting detail. And instead here's the Millennium 12 from Westward Booty, made from Terratanium, which is totally not a made-up word. There you go, here's your one Quest for Booty card.
Quest for Booty! Well done!
You did one thing too.
Wait, you know what that reminds me of? Rusty Pete's boss didn't even get a card. Like, the villain from Quest for Booty didn't get a card.
Here are the rhinos, starting with the OG. This weapon was designed in a dark room in the basement of Gadgetron. The Galactic Council of overpowered weapons declared it too dangerous for public use, and had the plans sealed in a box, then locked inside a larger box and covered with duct tape, then tossed in the ocean.
A lot of good it did them, given that we're rocking one.
Here's the Rhino 2, which looks like a Nerf gun. Does not upgrade, because it's too powerful already.
I love it. The first one gets this deep, dark, secret past. The second one...
remember,
it's just
that's because in the second game we also got the Zodiac. The Zodiac fires a lightning charge that decimates all enemies in sight. Yeah, at the cost of taking too long and having shitty ammo count. Don't use it.
Yeah.
Here's the Rifrino. Not my hacking Rifrino. Can be upgraded to the Rhinocerator. Unfortunately, it does not use dinosaurs as ammunition.
Alas.
Remember instead that Deadlock did not have the Rhino, but instead he had the next card. There you go, the Harbinger. Vox Industries answer to the Rhino. This weapon shoots out rockets that ping the ground with targets for an orbital ion cannon strike.
It was neat, and I do like how they pretty much note that that was basically the companies competing, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hence, it was basically the Rhino and everything.
Here's the Rhino 4. This is a serious dangerous weapon. Unauthorized use could land you in prison. If you notice, this is the design that was used for the Rhino in this game.
And yet they put it as... Well, okay, to be fair, I guess that's the one they chose to bring.
Here's the Rhino 5 from A Crack in Time. Use of this weapon may lead you to write sonnets about destruction, and once you start writing sonnets, there's no going back. Here's the Rhino 6 Proto Suite from All for One. You can construct this proto suite by finding all of Dr. Croyd's critters and completing his challenges. So if you haven't played yet All for One, you know what to do now. There you go. Interestingly, the manufacturer is labeled as Dr. Croyd. Okay. And here's the Rhino 7 from Into the Nexus. Plays a song that sounds an awful lot like Night on Bald Mountain, and that's it. Like, you don't want to mention that you needed to... It was manufactured by the plumber instead. I don't know.
Like, it's far from the game's biggest problems, but seriously...
It's inconsistent. The card description...
Yeah, pretty much.
And now instead, after you beat the game, or you collect all the gold balls, you can access from Grimworld's garage to the Insomniac Museum. Unfortunately, this is not particularly... It's probably the weakest iteration of the museum, because instead of having a guided tour and anything, it just says, "Welcome to the Insomniac Museum." This bunker houses a collection of Ratchet Clank mementos from the last 15 years. The collection is divided between 6 secure vaults. We've unlocked the first vault as a reward for finishing the game. The others are unlocked if you collect the other gold balls. The other 5, however, only open if you have collected enough gold balls. But since I've been a good boy, everything is unlocked. Oh yeah, one more thing. You can't remove mementos from the vaults. But you can use the share button to take screenshot, because this is the PS4. And for your photography buffs out there, we've modified the Plasma Striker to give you better zoom controls.
Oh, nice.
So, cool story, bro. So yeah, let's start with the first one. But again, instead of having a guided tour, Instead, you get, again, these bunkers with just houses, prop models from the past games. That's it. Oh, here's this Groot from All for One. I forgot that this mech was that mech was from the Smuggler cardboard, and his signature, truck, Rusty Pete's concept art. Tachyon's throne, the jellyfishes from Over One, and the dropids from Tools of Destruction. Yeah, I already looked at you. Go away. Oh, look at that! The organ player from Quest for Booty. And speaking of Quest for Booty, also the splash pages that are used to recap the story from that game. Oh, here's Rusty Pete. One of the Leviathans, I think. So yeah, even the other hangars are basically like this. It really is a bit of a letdown. Oh, but there is something interesting about that. In here you can see all the cinematics in the game. So, just to have one of those confusing option menus that require you to move around in order to see the cutscenes. But you can have a couple of small extra videos also added to it, which actually we're gonna take a quick look at. First, the teaser for the game. I forgot in which specific conference this was released, but similar to Tools of Destruction, this game got one of those teasers that just showcase the environment.
This looks like they're making how the Bond gun barrel was made. Oh, I didn't know this game was secretly a Windows XP simulator.
So yeah, just to showcase the environment of Aliro City. And here's instead Ratchet and Clank while being followed by the Blarg small ships as they're clear about to crash on this place. Poor Sprinkler bot. Oh, there you go. But the other...
that picture.
The other two are more interesting glimpses. These are two Japanese commercials for going commando, so let's check them out. Even without subs, they're so easy to understand. So, this kid has a letter. A Valentine specifically. So, what's Ratchet's idea to help him?
Blow it up. I mean, those things don't work anyway.
This poor child. Oh. Oh.
Don't worry, they don't work anyway.
Well, let's check the other one if it's any better. So clearly in this case he needs to do his own work, so. Just
And blow
the homework
whatever
up.
that was.
I'm sorry, teacher. A longbox blew my homework. See, that's the perfect excuse. Poor child. I kind of wish we had a couple of more of these. These are very entertaining.
It's like the Crash Bandicoot Japanese trailers, especially that really freakish one from the first game.
Is that the one where
with
he goes...
the dodgy CGI?
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Well, isn't it from the second game? The one... Whoa,
No, it was the first one. The one where we first saw the crash dance.
Oh, okay. Here are some models of some spaceships. I forgot which specific one are there. Here's a Philion. Again, you stopped talking a long time ago. The Tux for Less. The ship from this game. The axe wielding boss from the first game. The ones that were cutting off trees. The tank from Full Frontal Assault. The Rhino Protosuit from All for One. And the Quest for Booty's original wallpaper. Also, there was one of the decoys that Ratchet used in the first game. And he used that All for One's wallpaper. Alright, next one. Here's the Tools of Destruction wallpaper against the Kerchel tank. There it is. One of the large tanks. The decoy. I forgot which specific spaceship this is.
Either that, or that's something Ratchet's enemies use as practice.
Oh, here's one of Asimov's concept arts. And he said he upgraded a Philion. Different kinds and all. Here's Helga. Next one is... I forgot this.
Bushy eyebrows, Ratchet.
We'll get in there in a second. I was checking the transport first. More concept arts, which to be fair did not showcase that much. These those were the awards for games like Into the Nexus. Here's All for One's concept art against the Wigwamp.
It is interesting how they have what are clearly some older models actually relatively
Oh, here's
blend
Dr.
in well.
Freud's artwork with Mr. Dinkles. Also some fan arts from the fans.
Lovely.
Here's the Guardian from All for One. Okay. Concept art for this game. I don't know how it got in here.
I'm guessing that's
There it
supposed to
goes.
be concept art.
There's bushy eyebrows Ratchet.
I see Japanese Crash was in good company.
Yes.
The Crash's thing was he had one more finger and his eyes looked a bit more cutesy.
Also, here are some weapons. If I recall correctly, this Anger is the one with the weapon showcases. This is the Omen Bomb from the first game. Wallpapers from Full Frontal Assault, Deadlocked.
Why do the Japanese posters make it look like that Ratchet is on something.
I don't
Can
know.
you imagine if they had done the Madman thing and made it so that you could play the original game off of one of these arcade
If
cabinets?
only. Here's the Rhino, the Nightmare Box, and the Winterizer from Into the Nexus.
Yeah, Joe, I thought you were going to say,
Yeah, this is from the
imagine if
original.
we could play with a Japanese Ratchet skin, just like we could in Crash Tag Team Racing.
Although, wasn't that specifically in the Japanese version of the game?
No, us Western folk could play it as well through a cheat code, I believe.
Into the
Wow,
Nexus.
cheat code.
Hey, look at that! The daycare robots from Into the Nexus. Although in this case they work properly. And also, here's the statue of the mayor, the guy we wanted to be voted.
Weird that you made it possible to go up there, but not really have much room for us to saunter up there.
And for this monitor you can see clips, well, just, screenshots from the original Ratchet Clank video game. Just in case, you wanted some comparison, I guess.
It's like you said, it's not the worst thing, but it does feel lacking compared to past museums.
Definitely the weakest museum just tagged on, because this probably was an anniversary game, 15 years and all, and everything.
And like I said, mixed messages. Celebrate this old timeline that you will never be seeing again!
Who knows? Speaking of that, that's pretty much where the game ends, so we don't have any more to show you or see. Tune in for next time, where we jump back, instead the franchise jump backs into the previous continuity with a direct sequel to Into the Nexus, as Clank finishes repairing the Dimensionator with all the troubles that follow in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. See you for that.
See ya.
See you then.